Next, from 6 to 6:30, we will have the welcome speech and AMA session. We will introduce the background and purpose of this event, followed by an open AMA where you can ask any questions you may have. Welcome to the AI Open Source Meetups, hosted by ByteDance Open Source. I'm your AI host today, and I'm excited to guide you through this event filled with great discussions and networking opportunities. We have registration and networking from 5:30 to 6 o'clock. Please use this time to meet new people and connect with fellow developers and tech experts. Next, from 6 to 6:30, we will have the welcome speech and AMA session. We will introduce the background and purpose of this event, followed by an open AMA where you can ask any questions you may have. Next, from 6 to 6:30, we will have the welcome speech and AMA session. We will introduce the background and purpose of this event, followed by an open AMA where you can ask any questions you may have. From 6:30 to 7 o'clock, Cher will present a demo and talk about Plaud AI. Cher, the co-founder of Plaud AI, will showcase the latest developments and use cases of Plaud AI.
TechCrunch with pretty positive sentiment. Until now, we are still doing pre-order for this product, but we have already had $3 million pre-order sales. So let me explain how this device works. The first step, you can easily, without any network needed, you just long press the device to start the recording. The previous one, like our first generation product, it has like a 30 hours continuous recording with a 60 days standby. And Plaud Pin is 20 hours continuous recording with 40 days standby. And then you connect the device to the Plaud app where you can start to generate. So you can choose from 59 languages, including English, Spanish, Arabic, and you can choose from 2 large language models now, GPT-4o or Claude 3.5 Sonnet. You can also choose from over 20 professional templates. Those are designed for like interviews, reportings, discussions, consultings, or even for doctors. And for the transcription, now we have an accuracy rate of over 95%. And also we got speaker labels. That means it can tell who said what, and you can name the speakers so that the next time you are talking with the same person, we will automatically tag the name for you. And then for the summarization part, we also have a custom template. You can give your own prompt, like I'm a lawyer, I want you to summarize as this template. And we have Ask AI functions. Basically, you can ask questions like, what are the major concerns of my clients? And what is the deal that has been made? Now we have 2 memberships. One is a starter plan, which is for free for everyone who buy the device. And it offers 5 hours free transcriptions every month. And then beyond that, we have a pro plan, which is $79 per year with 20 hours transcription every month. So beyond the record, transcribe, and summarize, it is very easy to integrate and collaborate, because after the summarization, you can choose to store all the recordings, transcripts, or summaries on your app or in the cloud. And you can easily share via link or a Word, PDF, all the formats to different platforms so that your colleagues can collaborate with you from there. And privacy is very important. Now, for users who choose to upload to the cloud, we only work with Google Cloud and AWS to make sure the user safety. And now our cloud is based in the US. And also we are doing multiple compliance related projects like GDPR in the Europe, SOC 2, etc., to make sure we have our users' data all secured. And looking at the traction, Plaud was founded in December 2021, but only until last year end, we officially started to ship our products. So these tractions has been all achieved within 1 year. We have 300,000 users globally with $100 million revenue run rate already. And these are our sales channels. Basically, we have very diversified sales channels, including direct-to-consumer websites, Amazon, distribution. You may recognize some retailers from like multiple markets. And now US is about 40% of our business, followed by Japan and other developed markets mainly. And as mentioned, especially the Plaud Pin has been well recognized by the top media. And these are our global footprints. We actively expand to the new market and attend the famous electronics or AI-related trade shows this year. From next year, we will start to dump into the vertical trade shows, like for doctors, for lawyers. And this is the team. Currently, we have a team of 100. Our headquarters is in San Francisco, US. We have multiple offices like Japan, Hong Kong. Based on the experience of the team, we have 3 technology partners, Charles, Todd, and Kun. They each have 20 years experience of software or hardware development. And then Nathan is our CEO. He was a serial entrepreneur and a venture investor. Myself, I was a venture investor as well, and I've been doing global brand building for many years. So basically, we are growing really fast. We are expanding the team. And also, if you're interested in a fast-growing, commercialized, profitable AI startup, welcome to contact me. We're actively expanding our US team here. Yeah, so basically that's an introduction of our products. If you have any questions, feel free. For medical, the HIPAA compliance is the most important. So basically, we are working on the HIPAA compliance. We haven't accomplished it yet. And for the doctors who have been using our product, we did a lot of interviews with them. Not everyone is using for the doctor patients, and if they are using in this scenario, they would like ask for internal permission. Yes, but in the end, it's like we provide a tool that could be useful for this scenario. But every industry, even every state, would have the local regulations, and we try our best to guide the users to be compliant with the local laws. Well, technically, it's not hard, but strategically, our mission is to connect AI with real life. So we basically think that it provides the best user experience if you have a device that could, who has mic, could record the conversations around you. And going on, we keep, developing our products, and also even for our software, we have weekly updates. So that might be an option for us to give the app-only access to users, but that's still under discussion. It's not being confirmed yet. Yeah, that's basically what I showed you here. So it's like, I would say technically it's not rocket science. It's not like SpaceX, but now the edge we have is the seamless user experience. We can provide the experience that there's no hassle. Users can use it anywhere without battery concern, without being disrupted by a phone call concern. Yeah, so basically it's just like a camera versus phone camera. Professional people would need a professional product to solve the problem. The Plaud Note now is on Amazon. It has a 30 hours continuous recording with 60 days standby. It doesn't have to connect with the network. It's just an offline recorder. It connects to our app via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to transfer the audio. Yes, it's not real time. So when you record, it just records there. You don't need any network for that. And whenever you have your phone nearby, you can just go home and then start to transcribe from there. Yeah, voice recorder is a very traditional category. There are Sony, Philips, a lot of on Amazon. Previously, it's just a black box recorder. It doesn't even have an app. It doesn't even have a screen. It's just like record, playback. And then it evolves. It has a screen. You can at least know, okay, this is what I select. And then there's an app. But the app has no AI functions. It only so that you can play back on your app. And then what we do today is I think it's made of 20. When was ChatGPT was announced? It's made of 2021 or 2022. Yeah. So basically, the insights for us, but back then is that Sam Altman mentioned something like, someone asked him, "What do you think ChatGPT does the best?" He said basically structure and summarize. That's what he does best. And back then we were working on this voice recorder device direction, and it just clicked. So I think we were the first AI native hardware, because immediately after that launch, we basically just add that API function to our app. Well, okay. Concept. Concept. 59. Yes, 59. Like for this device, it does not connect to your phone. It is attached to your phone. So the vibration sensor can sense the vibration of the speaker's audio. On the side, you mean? Yeah, it's like, for example, if you put it like here and then you call someone, it will record your phone calls. Yes, yes, yes. To start voice recorder, you always long press the button here, and then you long press again to stop the recording. Well, that's still tech. Yeah, I understand. But still, you cannot do that in many places, especially like in California. You need to get the other party's consent to start the recording. Yes, and many parties. Speaker 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have two mics on the device. It's like we recognize who's who based on the voice prints. We use Open AI and Cloud API. Good question. I think the Apple Intelligence announcement was like 2-3 months ago. We were concerned, but after the announcement, we figured it's actually a good thing for us, because not many people or not many users realize that this is a huge demand. That's why Apple would literally add this function to their phone. And for us, we go professional. So basically, a phone is serving the mass consumers. It serves you many demands. So that means it doesn't do one function very professionally, very deep. And what we can provide is that, like for the professional templates, I don't really think Apple would create a template designed for doctors and, let's say, lawyers, designed for lawsuits lawyers and transactional lawyers. They all use totally different templates. So that's where we're going. We're going to, build all the integrations with the Salesforce, Apollo, with all the CRMs. The enterprise will find valuable by using our products. Sorry, didn't get your question. Integrations. There are thousands of softwares. I mean, only the voice recording, transcription, summarization softwares. There are thousands online. It's not like some new trending technology. It's always there. But why we can achieve this traction is because all the softwares, they solve the problem of digitized data. And there were some real cases. Some companies approach us saying, hey, we have integration, we have collaboration with this medical group, and they really want to have a physical device for their doctor to record this conversation because their software doesn't really work. Imagine like a vet, he's like dealing with the animals here, dealing with the pets. He can't hold a phone or a laptop nearby. It has to be something portable, even wearable, so that, and even you can like very, very conveniently to start the recording, either by pressing or maybe by some voice prompt. So that is kind of a value they want because they are lack of a way of collecting the real life audio, real life data. That is philosophy. If I don't record, then that is real life data, right? That is not online, I would say. No worry, don't be sorry. Well, that page, the market size page, that's basically our user profile, like lawyers, consultants, like investors, bankers, executives, entrepreneurs, project managers, product managers, and yeah, just imagine who like has lots of conversations to get the work done, like who has lots of meetings. Like I am a target user. I have lots of meetings. Yeah, it will record and. Any more questions? Yes. Yeah. So for the transcription, now we're only using GPT-4o, for summarization, like users can choose from both the two models. I would say currently the problem lies more into the transcription because it's not 100% accurate. For example, our own brand, we tried, it's still not right. It's still not PLAOD. Like I was pissed about that. But we tried. It's a balance because like if we use the OpenAI's model, there's hallucination by the whisper. And we try to solve that, try to minimize that, and then we try to have a like a vocabulary cloud, keywords cloud, users can customize, and then we would replace all the words the users want. But somehow we have to navigate how that works with the OpenAI's API. Sometimes it's not good. That's why we tried. There was a while Plaud was transcribed 100% accurate in the app. And then now the technology team took it back because there are some other incurred problems. So we're still fixing that part. But for summarization, I would say there's no big problem because there are just so many templates users can choose from. Yeah, that's the problem with the different industries. For example, the same word may have different meanings in industries. And like for one industry, it might have some uncommon words that we never used. We don't even know how to spell that. So that's kind of like not that structured industry data we have to figure out. Yeah, we thought about that. We thought about that for actually for several reasons. Some enterprises would want to like use localized AI to run the things, and also because we want to provide more real-time service. So, but like if you go to the cloud, it takes time. You need the Wi-Fi, you need the network. But if we can have a kind of solution, everything is run locally. But there are always trade-offs because the device can no longer be this portable, this light. Yeah, so that is in our consideration. Still, the decisions hasn't been made yet. Yeah, I think I answered some similar concepts like professional templates and no worry about the battery, the disruption, very reliable, variable. You don't even need to hold your phone. And also consider the fact, although like I know our crowd here might be the like techie, trendy, always follow up with new things like Apple Intelligence. But look at the whole world, especially Europe. They don't really, replace the new phones every year. I saw a lot of them still using the phones from 10 years ago, like for sustainability, for like no major demand reason. Yeah, so a lot of reasons actually may lead us to the result of this product market fit that we think we found. We support most of the phones. If there's a consumer feedback that we don't support, then we try to fix it. Not 100%, but mostly yes.
You just mentioned Europe and 10 years phone. So I come from Europe. Which part of Europe are you talking that they use 10 years old phone?
Sorry.
Which part of Europe do you think use 10 years old phone? Because I am coming from Europe, like Germany. and I never saw anyone like really 10 years ago. So where is that data
Oh.
which you used?
The person who still use phones from 10 years ago, they are not the guys you are imagining. They're definitely not. They could be like very senior executives in those industries I just mentioned. They just don't fancy this new tech stuff. And this could bring value to them. I don't know what's your imagination about the profile I just described, but probably not. But interesting question though.
People in the hospital, the nurses and the doctors, they carry pagers. Why they're carrying pagers? Pagers are like 30 years old, right? Technology. Right. I agree. So there might be some reason people are not using smartphone. I'm not arguing with you, just telling me you the things I know. Okay.
If the phone supports app, because every update is within our app. Are you talking about Nokia? What's your question? Okay, fine.
Yes,
Any
thanks for
more
the
questions?
thanks for the great talk. My question is regarding the compliance, the privacy, HIPAA, and so on. So, can you share more about how you can assure the privacy? So, for example, if you say you can be HIPAA compliant, but then once you are starting to use Open API, and some of the data, are they going to go to the Open API server? And how do you ensure are they also going to be HIPAA compliant in that case? Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So basically, let me explain how the data is stored first. Firstly, the recording audio is on the device. It supports 64 gigabyte storage. And then when you connect to the app via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, and then the audio will be transferred, like deleted here and then transferred to the app. Just like any other app you have, it takes a storage of your phone. And then there's a button in the app where you can choose to turn on, that is turn on cloud sync. And from there, it will, goes to Google Cloud or AWS to be stored. And then for the transcription process, yes, you're right. The audio will also go through the OpenAI or Cloud API to process the data. And for that, I don't know what's really happening within those like AI companies, but written on the policy that they don't use any client's data to train the models because they should be compliant with a lot of regulations. Yeah, I mean, we haven't completed HIPAA compliance yet, as I said, but we will do it. And I'm not the compliant guy. I'm not a lawyer to answer these questions, but I'm just telling you, we are trying that direction. And if there's a problem to solve, we solve that problem. I guess it's easier to understand. Everybody is still a doctor, right? I'm not here for sales. I don't expect you to buy.
Yeah, let's like discuss it later. Like like.
Okay, one last comment and one last question. So I'm just saying, exactly showing there's such a high demand, the doctors need this product, there's so much in need, and we would give it time, like for the next step to follow. If we wait for everything to be perfect and in place to start, then there's no product gonna start, and especially with such a huge AI surge right now, I think we need to give the product some time to grow. So I just want to address that question. And my question for you is, as far as I know, I think the product's mostly for consumer, like to see right now. What's your plan of going to be? I think that's going to be a very profit market there.
Got it. This year, the consumers we define as prosumers, like professional level consumers. They are still buying as individuals. There are some like enterprise orders, like 200, 500, they want to buy for their employees. But the solution is still the same as the prosumer solution. So from next year beginning, our plan is to have like another plan, starter plan, pro plan, maybe enterprise plan with more integrations. And we might even have a device developed like for those different industry enterprises. So the like what I was just mentioning here, we are building the US team, we are expanding. One major focus is to launch this enterprise solution. So like what was the most prioritized platforms we have to integrate? What are the like team space functions and all these like colleagues reactions, comments, collaborations? What should we prioritize and how do we develop a product based on the enterprise needs? That is our priority. Okay, thank you so much for all the questions.
Demo and talk about Plaud AI. Cher, the co-founder of Plaud AI, will showcase the latest developments and use cases of Plaud AI. From 6:30 to 7 o'clock, Cher Gao will present a demo and talk about Plaud AI. Cher, the co-founder of Plaud AI, will showcase the latest developments and use cases of Plaud AI.
So after our second speaker session, I can demo a result of our conversations, and I can also send a link to the organizer where you can have access to.
From 7 to 7:30, Rui Guo will present a demo on the Edge Ingress framework. Rui will share insights into how this framework can solve real engineering challenges in edge computing.
Yeah, let's welcome Rui Guo to give us the second talk. And also, if you feel hungry, there's some pizza there. So like during the talk, you probably can grab a piece of pizza. Yeah. Or like, yeah, let's wait for probably 2 minutes. You can grab some pizza and then come back here. Then we will start next talk. Yeah, we'll have some soda later. So yeah, probably if you can wait a few more minutes, and we'll have like soda and paper plates soon.
Yeah, I'll wait when everybody gets their pizza and food.
section.
Hey guys, this is Ray from the ByteDance, and yeah, and today I'm going to introduce you guys the BG as Edge Ingress framework. So first of all, I kind of want to ask like how many software engineers are here? You can raise your hand. And how many are familiar like writing in programming Go and also probably familiar with Kubernetes, cloud, like AWS, GCP. Okay, cool. So today I'm going to talk about the Edge Ingress framework. So this is one of the open source initiative. We're gonna later open source in Q4 2024, and we are seeking the opportunity working with the AI communities to see where we can get this going. So first, I want to give you guys a background. What is a BGE? BGE stands for the ByteDance Global Edge. It's actually a platform, cloud-native platform team. We are serving the multi-tenant Kubernetes as a service. Right now, we're mostly serving all of the ByteDance internal customers. As a platform, we deploy and manage container workload and user traffic efficiently, securely, and completely on the edge cluster distributed around the globe. For my understanding, we built the BGE starting from 2020, and we utilize all of the open source solutions that Kubernetes that has announced, and we build on top of it. So let me go over what is the current status of BGE. So as of now, starting from beginning of 2020, we have 0 clusters across the world, and at the moment, at the current status of 2024, we have set up the clusters across 40 countries in a total of 226 clusters. We actually talk to each country's mobile service provider as well as some the individual data center owner to set up to talk the deal to get the servers and machines and build the edge cluster on top of it. We have, like mentioned in this picture, we have 3 compliance regions. One is rest of the world. We for that we that mostly focused on South Africa, Southeast Asia, and Latin America. And we also have the cluster built in the Europe region as well as the United States. We are also running in a hybrid cloud environment. That said, we mostly have the clusters built on-prem. So usually we have the bare metal machines and build the Kubernetes on top of it. We also deal with the Oracle in the compliance issue in the US to set up the OKE clusters. We also deal with the GCP and AWS as well to set up the cloud environment. So as a summary, as of now, we have 7,500 servers across the world, and in sum, we have 670,000 CPUs in total. And right now, we're running 330 projects. Here, projects you can think of as an individual application that is deployed in all of the cluster. That is 330 applications. And in total, we are serving 44 terabyte traffic across the world. So that's a pretty enormous number. And I believe on the case of edge computing, ByteDance is running in a large scale, which other companies can barely compete. That's why we're internally test our BGE product, and we are planning to open source this product gradually to the world and see if there's actual partnership with the AI community. Yeah. So next, I'm going to introduce some services we are currently running on BGE. The first one is also our largest one internally, is the CDN customer. So one of the service they're running is the VOD, the video on demand. It's actually the video caching service. For example, it's like when you open the TikTok app and load a video, uh, it's actually caching the video in the local edge cluster and send it to the user. So that's the service you can think of. And we're also serving the FCDN user, which is the TikTok live streaming, and the DSA, which is short for dynamic site acceleration. So the user who use DSA will get the most optimal transmission path to deliver the dynamic content. This addressed the issue of uh, the network instability caused by the uh, uh, cross mobile carrier or cross region, cross country, or and maybe just network instability. And some other user we are serving right now, the real-time communication is the real-time call service we have, and the upload. Upload is the user choose to record a video, upload to the ByteDance data center. Uh, that's the service, how we upload it from the edge to the central TikTok data center and distribute it across the world. And there's also like internal user like the SDN and some other small user like the TikTok gaming and also the BytePlus video call. The BytePlus video call is one of the application we sell to the customer where they can store their video in cloud. Yeah. Yeah. Next, I'm just going to introduce the some core functions the BG is currently serving. From left to right, I'm going to introduce the workload deployment. So the workload deployment is actually how we manage the user's application and deploy it everywhere across the world. Internally, we are actually using the Argo CD open source solution for that. And we build the workload management on top of that to give the user the most easiest way to deploy their application. So we just give the user a simple YAML template. They put in some configuration like where the cluster they want to deploy the image and also some resource setting like the CPU and memory. And we're gonna automatically or intelligently deploy the application to the destination. And move on to the center. We also provide the user service access. That is when user want to expose their application to the internet. We provided both L4 and L7 access for the user. For L4, we are using the Cilium, which is also a open source solution. We are working closely with the community to meet the ByteDance user requirement. And for the L7, which is going to be the talk, the Edge Ingress framework I'm going to introduce to you guys today. Yeah, and move on to the right. We have the user traffic routing. So inside BGE, we have a GTM called a Global Traffic Management Team. This team in charge of how to eyeball the user request to the specific cluster based on the quality. So for example, like let's say a user from the Thailand, they want to access a video from TikTok. The GTM actually have this user's request related domains announced across the world. It's going to look at which cluster has the best lowest latency, the most available resources, and not causing any resource collisions with other service. And it's going to find that cluster and route the traffic into that cluster. Okay, so yeah, next slide, I'm going to talk about the Edge Ingress framework, what we are trying to resolve. Like I showed previously, we have like hundreds of clusters running all across the world. So the biggest issue for us is to solve, like based on one domain, how can we handle the L7 north to south traffic to the edge cluster at scale? So historically, when we don't have the Edge Ingress framework, the user, when they want to expose their application outside, they will have to bring their own proxy along with their application. So that means they have to configure everything on their side, including the domain registration, including the virtual IP request, as well as the uh, proxy config management. So we are having this Edge Ingress framework as the unified solution for all of our users. So we can save costs, like in terms of SRE, because it used to be every team, they need to configure their own proxy, right? And also, based on some other BG features, we provided the IP management as well as the dynamic resource adjustment for the user. And we have an internal team that is working on the proxy performance itself. So we guarantee that on the every aspect, we can save cost for our user. So I'm not going to go into too much detail into each component, but these are the components we are going to open source later this quarter. So starting from the central components, I want to give a high level overview of what each component does, and yeah, the basic flow chart when a user trying to deploy their config to their cluster. So the first component is the ERB manager and operator. Yeah, first of all, all the components here are written in Go, and it's all operates under a K8s fashion, where user defines a custom resource in Kubernetes, and the operator will act on the customer resource and does its own thing. So the ERB manager is the one that interacts with user. Either it exposes API for the user, or it exposes a UI interface for the user to configure their proxy and the cluster they want to deploy. So once the ERB manager receives the user's request, it's going to create a ticket flow to dispatch the user-defined proxy config. And the second component is the global ingress manager. This component actually is not user related, but it's more like collecting status info from all the edge clusters. We use this mechanism to have a central place to show all the edge clusters health status, and we were able to act on any actions if there's issue with the edge cluster. And the last one is the gateway class controller. This is more like for the SRE based component. So the SRE would use this to manage the deployment and upgrade for every edge cluster deployment. So next, I would just go over a flow for the Ingress config dispatch workflow. So here is also a very high level flow chart, just showcasing how a user can deploy their config. So let's say there's a BGE user. It talks to the ERB manager on the UI, where the user right now has a few options. Right now, they have the proxy selection. Right now, the proxy, we want to support as much as possible. Right now, we have Envoy and Nginx as our R7 proxy. And we are also working with our internal team to support the Rust proxy, as well as some standard simple Go proxy for the selection. And after that, the user can configure their config dispatch mode. So this is like how user wants their config to be effective across all the clusters. So we have different dispatch mode here. One is the percentage rollout. You can think of like if you have 10 cluster and you want to enable it, your new config in the first 50%, you can do that. If you want to enable it in a certain country, one at a time, you can also do that. If you if you want to enable your proxy config during the off-peak hour for the traffic, you can also do that. So there are a lot of things you can do for the dispatch mode. And after that is the real proxy config. So the one of the simplest proxy config we have is that a user just have one domain, a public HTTPS domain that exposed to the on the TikTok client, and they also have a setup backend, like a set of pod, which has a service wrapper around it. So one simple proxy config is just one domain matched to a backend service. So they can configure that. And after that, the ERB will verify all the config works as expected, and it's going to create a ERB ticket. Then we have the ticket flow. The ticket flow is more like it's like a state machine flow where it goes through stages, and every stages, whenever there's a failure, it will report back to the user, so the user can fix things on their side. If everything goes smoothly, the ticket goes through the initial stage, the canary stage, and the full stage. And in the end, everything config is rolled out to the edge clusters. So that's basically it. I have one like detailed step-by-step how ELB interact with the user, like the detailed step flowchart in the link below. You guys can check if you are interested. And also, yeah, also for the global ingress manager I mentioned in the previous slide, how it collect information from the edge cluster, reporting back to the central. It's also in there. Yeah. Yeah. And the next is how we manage the edge component. Like I mentioned, we have the gateway class operator to do all kind of heavy lifting for the SREs. So for a user, they want to deploy their edge component like the Nginx proxy. They just have to create a customer resource in their central cluster. And when a gateway class receives that resource, it's going to talk to another component called BGE workload. You can think of it as another Kubernetes operator, which is going to create an application on the edge clusters. So in this case, when it receives the gateway class CR, it's going to create workload CR. And workload CR will reconcile and create the resources we need on the edge cluster. So on the right, you guys can see there is a control plane, Nginx or Envoy control plane. That's the first component the edge component has. This control plane does two things. The first is it's going to get the user-related domains certificate and distribute it to the proxy. And the second thing is going to dispatch the proxy config. During the initial deployment, it's going to dispatch the static proxy config. But as the ticket flow I showed you guys before, is going to receive the updated config and also send the updated config to the proxy. And the second component we have is the actual proxy component. Here I mentioned is Envoy or Nginx. So yeah, so the Envoy or Nginx will receive the real-time config update, and it does the hot reload, which does not affect the live user traffic. And I also attached a link explaining the detailed workflow for a BG SRE to handle the edge component deployment. It's pretty straightforward, just one manifest to change, and everything should happen magically, like the resource changes, pod adjustment, IP changes. It all happens in the background. The SRE, you don't have to worry anything about that. So yeah, let's talk about the roadmap. Like I mentioned, in Q4 2024, we're gonna open source the BG Edge Ingress framework with the minimal dependency. So we are also like seeking partnership with the AI community. Like right now, we are working with the Edgeness, which I think is also another open source group in this chat, and we are seeking how we can utilize the Edge Ingress framework in their IoT devices. And we're gonna provide external guide, document, and community group for this first open source solutions. Yeah, by the start of the phase 2, like Q1 2025, we're gonna open source the rest of the BGE stack. Like firstly, we're gonna introduce the BGE workload stack, like how it addressed the user deployment pain points. And also we're gonna we're gonna open source the BGE IP management for the hybrid cloud environment. I believe that that will be very useful for the community. And by the end of the Q2 2025, we're gonna release all the BGE features as a software bundle as solution. And one last thing is the BGE metadata center. That is the also another component BGE have, which contains all the source of truth for the BGE. Yeah. So maybe I think I only have 5 minutes left. I can go over the demo quickly. Like this demo just shows how user onboard a domain to our BGE Edge Ingress from the UI. So from the UI, you can see first user define their own load balancer name. And here they input their project. The project is kind of a like namespace restricted how they will deploy their application to. And after that, they choose the cluster they want to have their config on. And here we choose the step config by percentage. Like I mentioned, like there's two clusters, they want to do the rollout gradually. That's how they configure the 50% to roll out to the first cluster and the rest. And on the second page is where they define their public domains. Here we just pick a demo domain. And here we put a CNAME because ByteDance, it has its own authoritative DNS. So it's going to, in the background, we call the GTM to help us to change the DNS record for the domain pointing to that CNAME. And the CNAME will resolve to a list of VIPs that cluster belongs to. Yeah, it all happens in the background, so the user don't have to worry about it. So here we are defining the service backend and also the port that service is running to make sure once enter the cluster, go through the proxy, it will forward the request to the correct set of backend. Yeah, and here is just some additional configs here. And after that, you will see the overview of the user's change. If everything looks okay, you go ahead and create it. And that's going to show the ticket page I mentioned earlier. It's going to like go through the canary and full. So once user hit canary, it's going to do that 50% rollout in the first cluster. And yeah, it's showing the phase as syncing. And yeah, this shows the general RB information. And we go into here, nothing really happened in the traffic routing page. No traffic is being routed yet, so because because it's still in the rollout phase. And we go back to the ongoing ticket. So the canary is done. It's showing the full is pending for review, and we hit on rollout for the full. And now we go back to check our traffic management page. So that is see how the traffic is routing to each cluster. Because we just finished the canary cluster. We have the CNAME defined, announced everywhere, and it's going to say this CNAME, the request to this CNAME is going to forward to this cluster. Because the full is still ongoing. We'll see what happens when the full is finished. Okay, so the full stage is done, and we close the ticket. And now let's look at the ELB information. So when everything is finished, you can see that the config is being rolled out to these two clusters. It's all enabled. By any chance, like the cluster is down, you can turn it off to switch off the routing to this to this specific cluster. And I think in the end, we're gonna test if the correct domain is resolving to the backend and giving the result. So that's the domain we just onboarded. I will hit refresh on the page. It's going to say it's showing the Nginx page, which is the backend we have deployed in those two clusters. So we have fully showcased the proxy config deployment flow and how we can user can access their domain from the public. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Do you guys have any questions for me or for the team? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. What is GPE? Oh, BGE. Okay. Okay, so like I mentioned, to deploy on your local, I think it's doable, but you need to have the full BGE stack deployed in your local as well. So by saying that, yeah, you need to have. It's not as easy as shown in the demo. Like for example, the domain resolution, you probably need to do it on your own. But once that is resolved, I think it's easy to do. And what BG really offers is the easement for the deployment and the easement for the config deployment, config onboarding, and also the global traffic routing I just showed. Yeah. Um, yeah, like our design initially was just for all the edge cluster, like for the CDN use case, where we're running all kind of edge clusters across the world. Yeah, yeah, but it will work. It will work in your local. Yeah.
Is there any another question? Another question about BGE.
We're gonna have some more like BGE sharing in the future. So yeah, you guys can stay tuned.
Okay, thank you so much for the presentation.
Yeah,
And
thank you,
later,
guys.
if you get any like curiosity about the BGE, so we can talk later. Okay, thank you. And right now it's we're going to have a really quick 3 to 5 minute pitch. And he's the guest from today, and he said he has a product he want to showcase today. So let's see what's going to happen.
What they're doing. Hi guys, thank you very much for inviting me to come here and talk a little bit about our company. We're a company that is located in the Silicon Valley. Our company's name is Ole Wave. We provide data to people or company who train their AI models, especially for the people who want to train their speech-related model, for example, speech recognition model, speech synthesis model, or the multimodal model like GPT-4o model. Uh, we provide training data and evaluation data. We also provide services. The service we next. The service is about to label your own data. Suppose you have voice data, you have multimodal data. We have our data labeling pipeline. So our pipeline is different than the traditional data labelers like Appen or other company. They heavily leverage human being in doing this. But we have a lot of small, fast running AI labeling agents that can do the work. So you can see that different than the traditional data labelers, we can guarantee the data labeling quality while we're retaining a low cost of data labeling. Okay. One thing we're very proud of is we provide something called a customizable pre-labeled speech data sets. So before us, you can see there are legacy or other data vendors. Their labels are not configurable. They provide something called over-the-shelf data sets. You either like it, you pay for it, or if you don't like it, you don't pay for that. But we're different. So if you found, okay, we need some speech data with text transcriptions, okay, and we want some extra speaker turn labels, okay, we can provide these extra labels for you. And also in terms of the data quantity, lots of the traditional data labelers, they are not able to provide more than 10,000 hours of speech data, while we can provide millions of hours. And in terms of the quality, because we leverage the AI and the deep learning in our data processing pipeline, so we can achieve the same data labeling quality as human labelers while retaining low cost. And we cover different topics, languages, and our data is real world data. That's our product. I think I will try to skip this. Besides this, we also have our, sorry, this is a closed source SDK. If you're interested in building your in-house voice AI services, feel free to talk to us. And in the end, I want to roughly talk about our data labeling solutions. First of all, and if you guys are using large language models or large speech models to transcribe, for example, whisper model, to transcribe your audio. So one thing you may not ignore is the big models tend to be overconfident about the output they generate. We provide some solutions when people are trying to label their data using some AI models. We provide some extra metric, which is called a confidence measure. We call that confidence measure. With that, you know better about whether the labels generated by LLM or large speech model are reliable or not. I remember one of the audience over there, they asked about reliableness. And also our model, if you're deploying onto your server, we don't need GPUs because we're, like I said, it's a fast running AI agents, which do not need that valuable GPU resources you want to reserve for your training, right? And also our model, because it doesn't use a human being extensively, so it reduced the human being labeling effort. We minimizing the data breaches risk, right? And I think this graph shows some the architecture of our data labeling solutions. We have this key thing called a semi-automatic labeler. So you can have your own model, while you can always use your model to label your own data. But the problem is that you either have to have human beings who check those labels, or you reduce the amount of the human beings that needed to check those labels by feeding quality data into your trainer, like we propose here. You just get the pre-labeled, customized data set, which are customized for your case, and you inject it to your trainer, so you do not dependent or that dependent on the human labors anymore. All right, I will stop here. If you have any questions, feel free to talk to me. Thank you very much.
Okay, any question? Please.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So we have our proprietary model. So basically, it's about comparing the wrong labels with the correct label and to estimate how likely the wrong label is unreliable. Can you speak louder? I cannot hear you clearly.
Sure. Your table was deeming that your data has better quality and a lot of metrics that was measured in stars, better than existing free and legacy form of data sets.
Yeah.
Who judged that? How did you grade them? That one.
Because we have already have clients, they have compared our data with other vendors' data, and this is the conclusions we draw. And also, to answer your question, we also run controlled experiments on our own simulated case, because due to NDA, we're not allowed to disclose client's case to the public. So you can see there are different configurations, and this column is about the accuracy of the model after doing the fine tuning. Okay, the bigger the bigger the number is, the bigger the reduction in error rate it is. So you want this number to be bigger. Okay, so this number is the ideal case. You have a perfect human being transcription. Perfect. You have human beings check this for 3 times, 5 times, right? But this is the thing we propose. You can see this is not very far from the ideal case. While if you hire traditional data vendors or lots of human beings to label your data, this is what you're gonna get, because these people are paid less than 10 cents per hour and they make errors. And you're gonna get this number. And in terms of cost, you can see this is if you hire traditional data vendors, you're gonna pay about $25,000 for this small simulated experiment. But if you're using our service, you're gonna pay 2.5K for this. But of course, this is just the data cost. It doesn't consider the cost regarding the AI deployment or server running things. I hope that answers your question.
Okay. Any another question? Okay, I think that's all. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Gary.
Yeah. So I think this is the end of the event today. Thank you so much, everyone, to join our event. Great to meet all of you. And later we're going to have the networking section. And also, if you want to know more about ByteDance Open Source, want to get to know with the AI experts in our community, we're going to have the QR code over there. So you can try to scan it or take a photo. So we're going to have more activity in it. And also you can get connected with a lot of AI founder and also AI developer. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to display this for 1 minute.
Yeah, just to clarify, this is the ByteDance Open Source Developer Day. It's for the daytime. And co-located, we have another AI Open Source Meetup, which is the same time from 5:30 to 8:30. It's 5:30 starting registration, and 6 o'clock, ask me anything. and we'll be in the same room here. Yeah, I don't know why we have the 1 hour overlapping here, but it's maybe for the daytime participants if they want to stay. I don't know whether this is okay for security, but I clarified to Strata. I hope this is gonna be resolved, or if they're okay, it's like 2 event in the same room. But anyway, this registration is only for the daytime event. We have another Luma registration link for the evening time for the meetup, but we're still waiting for the approval to make the Luma link to be public.
Yeah, I think that's all. If you guys have any like AI product, or you got any like fancy AI idea, get contacted with us. So maybe you also got a chance to have presentation in our ByteDance Open Source event. So Luma, Luma link not going to display here, right, Tina?
Because it's still on the
Okay,
review.
I see.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
one is for the registration for the ByteDance Open Source Dev Day, the same day for daytime.
Okay, okay. So,
Yeah, and also we have the WeChat link, WeChat group, group, and what is it called? The other one, a Slack group. I see you can look for Gary and Wilson to get this. Yeah,
Okay.
by the way, everybody, I'm in the Salt Lake City for the KubeCon. I wish I were there.
okay, no problem. I'm going to share those QR code and the link to your email, so everyone going to receive it. So Tina, do you have any other question?
Not really. I'm so happy. I see the full house there. Yeah, I think this is great opportunities for we as important contributors to the community. We are here, happy to connect you to the new technologies, and we're happy to share the success of the developers with everyone here.
Okay, no problem. So thank you.
Thanks.
So what about have one picture together, so everyone can have a picture? Maybe yeah. So take a picture. Yeah, everyone can sit here. We take one group photo, and then we can continue networking.
So when you take photo, can you see me from the screen?